Good morning, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks for joining us. Hey, everybody. I had an idea. I was given an idea. I was given information by a comment that somebody made. And then looking at that information, I said, I want to know more. So I started looking, which led me down a totally different rabbit hole, one I didn't expect at all. Guess who's not returning post pandemic to the Philippines? Could be a lot of reasons for it, but it's not the Americans, it's not the Koreans, and it certainly isn't the Aussies. Let's talk about it.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, couple of quick things. Number one, please do subscribe. Please do hit that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the channel, and every subscriber helps. We certainly hope we put out information you can use, information that engages you to think, and information that's once in a while amusing. With that being said, we appreciate it. Honestly, we do. Number two, this is not a hit piece. This is just something that I came through accidentally. I didn't go looking for these numbers. And here's what happened. I had a video. Excuse me, I had a video. And in that video, I was getting comments. And in those comments, I was talking about different things, and Cebu was one of them in relation to Koreans. And I was told in those comments, man, there are a ton of Koreans in Cebu. And that was contrary to our experience. Our two experiences in Cebu, we didn't see many Koreans. Well, I said, let me try and look at this. As I did, I ran into a whole other can of worms. I'm sure you're familiar with that. You start one thing, you end up in another. Okay. These are the results of what we ran into. And I think you'll find them interesting. I think that our British viewers would, you know what? I would hope that our British viewers will give us some input. I really and truly do. So let's take a look at what we've got. All right. So I will tell you right now, I'm going to put the link below or links to where we got all of this information. All of this information came from the Philippine government tourism. I'm going to also quantify parts of it. We did not compare American to British, or Australian to Korean, or Korean to American. We just compared a country, a date or range of dates to get a date, and the inbound Philippine immigration claims. Now, what is excluded from this? Not much. And what I mean is, it doesn't matter whether they came over here. When somebody passed through immigration and they had an ACR card, or they were balikbayan, or they were SRRV, if they presented with a passport, that passport was marked as their point of nationality. So, you know, that's just the way it is. If you're coming in on a British passport, doesn't matter that you've lived your entire life in Australia, you're British. If you come in with a U.S. passport, Doesn't matter if you lived your entire life somewhere else, you're US. Those things happen. Now, we'll try not to bore you too much. Let's see if we can take care of that. So, what did we do here? Well, these are the UK numbers. Now, I did 10 years of look back on each one of these countries: the UK, the US, Australia, and Korea. Because that was originally, Korea was the original question that I had in my mind. So, with that being said, all right, the best year that the the British had, okay, coming into, and when I say best, I mean total number of inbound arrivals, was 209,000, or 209,000 in 2019. And if you look at the charts, you're going to see that, quite frankly, these charts are all very, very similar, okay? Except here towards 2023. Now, the second thing that I've got to point out, 2023 is not over. These stats, the Philippine government now produces the stats on a monthly basis. Okay. They also produce, for those of you that want to double check the work, be careful. They produce revised numbers, original numbers, and then officially revised numbers. So be careful. All right. I found that out the hard way when shit just didn't make sense. Took me several hours to get to where I wanted to go. Now, what happens here? Well, why are the British down, and how far down are they? Well, the British right now, the UK, I guess that's much better. They are currently at a 65% run weight. In other words, their best year was pre-COVID, the year before pre-COVID, as was everybody else's. So that's a great comparison number for everybody. Pre-COVID, they are at 65.25% with 1 month to go in the year. The Americans, they're at 75.9%. Okay? Great. That number is reasonable. By the end of the year, they'll be within 5 or 10% or even greater. We just won't know until it happens, will we? The Australians are kicking it. I mean, absolutely kicking it. And they're at 81%. And the Koreans, you know what? They're at 80%. Now, I don't want to go into why, because I don't live in the UK. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the UK. One thing that our channel doesn't do, we're not going to fill you full of bullshit. We're just going to say, this is what we found. This is the way it is. This is what we think in most instances, but we can't tell you everything because we don't have those answers. The UK, it takes no more time. I looked at flights. Getting from the UK to the Philippines is no more difficult than getting from the middle of the U.S. to the Philippines. Pretty much the same, actually, from the West Coast, and definitely harder from the East Coast of the U.S. to get to the Philippines. More time, more effort, and more money. It's not like the British aren't going on vacation. And it's not like they're not spending money. The British practically invaded Europe post-pandemic, okay? And rightfully so. It's right across the channel. I would too. It's cheaper, without a doubt. Certainly, though, once you get over there, I don't think it's any cheaper. In fact, I think, it's my opinion, it's more expensive over in Europe to spend a week than it is in Boracay. It's, again, a personal opinion. I don't know. I haven't rented a place in Europe for 40 years. Um, wasn't, that's a whole different story. My point is I don't know why. I really don't. But what I do know is that these numbers aren't lies. They're based on the one undeniable fact of it's a passport. Doesn't matter whatsoever. Now, I do know that OFWs are not in these numbers. These numbers are foreign nationals only. Now, I will say this. The research that I did, it's foreign nationals only, but it does not exclude those coming for business, and it does not exclude government. Like you would have diplomatic people coming on a U.S. diplomatic government passport. But there aren't that many diplomats that these numbers are going to make a hell of a beans. So I don't know. Maybe it's because of their crazy tax rate and changes. Maybe they feel their economy is far worse than in the U.S. Maybe they feel that their future isn't as bright financially, but they're still going to Europe. And for 9 years, it didn't matter, did it? It really and truly didn't matter. But administrations change, taxes change, everything changes. We don't know. If you're from the UK, tell us why you think it's not as good or easy or worth coming to the Philippines. Now, we have British friends, we have Scottish friends, we have Australian friends, all right? And they seem to be very happy. A couple of them have said they're not as happy. And they are saying, a couple of our British friends have actually said they're feeling the pinch, okay? And I don't know what to say. I really and truly don't. I know I'll get lectured by the British guy that's a xenophobe, hates Americans. I mean, this guy kind of kills me. He only talks about two things practically. That is how wrong Americans are and how they always cause issues. And then number two, he's relying, you know what? I was going to say something about his personal life and how he relays that information, but I'm not. I'm not going to pick on an old man. Okay? But either way, my point with all of that is that these things change. Now, we're going to take you to the website, and we're going to show you where we got the information at the government website. The link is going to be below. And then we're going to show you the tourist newsletter that comes out monthly. And I want you to pay really good attention to that. All right, so hold on. So, like I said, I'm going to put the link below, all right, for the tourism statistics. You can go through this link and you can get all kinds of months, regional travelers, whatever. But you know what I'd like for you to pay attention to is the inbound tourism update. That's going to give you some really interesting information. Remember, we told you this channel is about engaging you. And so rather than me throwing it up there for you to take a look at, okay, rather than me doing that, I want you to go there and read it yourself. I want you to become engaged in it. If you don't want to, that's okay. The short story is the British are running from the Philippines. I don't know. Let's hear, what are your thoughts on this? Put it in the comments below. Thanks, and we wish you, all of you, a happy and safe day.